I thought I would do this little video on my favorite brushes today. Many of you saw this little brush holder that I hauled back in January, and it's from the stationery section of Winners or HomeSense. And it's just a little 4-compartment like pen holder. But I thought because I'm doing my I keep my makeup in the bedroom and I apply it in the bathroom. I needed somewhere. I keep bringing like a little cup of brushes into the bathroom with me every day. So I thought I would take a little container like this and keep it in the bathroom. Now the holes are tapered, like they're nice and wide at the top, but then they, you know, like you can see that they come down a little bit. So they are in fact small cups, so you can't get a lot of brushes in here. So what's happened is basically I just have my favorite brushes in here, the ones that I use all the time, and I have extra ones here sitting in a cup so I can, you know, move out, kind of switch around and stuff like that. And I'm using most of them, but these are the ones that I seem to be using on an everyday basis, and I thought I would go over them because I kind of wanted to do an overview of some of my brushes anyway, because I've been using them for a while. So here you go. So how many times am I going to say so in this video? I don't know. So the majority of these are e.l.f. and Real Technique brushes, but I'll go over them and show you. Okay, so starting in this little cup are my the brushes that I use to apply my concealer and my foundation. And I have my 2 favorite concealer or foundation brushes of all time. This is the Sigma Flat Top Kabuki F80 brush. Everybody talks about this. I've talked about this a whole whack load of times. I love this product. It's just short, and the bristles are short and flat and dense and very, very soft, and it's perfect for applying cream foundation. It's not really what I use for liquid because I think it soaks up too much of the product and you end up using more than you might want to, but it's excellent for cream style foundations. For foundations like liquid ones, I guess, and applying BB creams, I love this brush. This is the buffing brush from Real Techniques, and another one that they have that's very similar is one of her latest ones, which is the Expert Face brush. This is excellent as well for applying liquid foundation, but this one just gets the job done a little bit faster because it's bigger and it's a little bit softer, so I find it gives more of an airbrushed finish, whereas this one, it can be a little bit fussy. I mean, it's still an excellent brush. I still love it. These Real Techniques brushes I've had for 2 years now, and they are going as strong as the day I got them. I love them more and more every day because of the fact that they stay together so well. They're still soft. They've maintained their shape. I think these are an excellent brush. And now, if you live in places other than the UK and the US, it is easier to get your hands on them. I know that Amazon sells them and ships to Canada, as does iHerb.com. It just seems to be the big one to get these brushes from if you live in Canada. So you can get your hands on them. And even if you have to pay a little bit more for shipping, I think they're totally worth it. Then I've got 2 kind of soft buffing brushes for applying my concealer. I've applied my concealer with a fluffy brush for years, and I love it because it gives a really nice airbrushed application and soft diffused finish to your concealer, and doesn't apply too much product and buffs it in really nicely, so you don't have, like I find when you pat, especially like under eye concealer, when you apply it and pat it on, you're getting too much product on there, and you can press it into fine lines and get some caking. But applying your concealer with a brush just gives a lighter application, and I find just applies your concealer better. As a deluxe crease brush, is that what this is? Yeah, deluxe crease brush. I think it's too big and round for crease work, but it's perfect for buffing. And the bristles are quite dense in there, so there's not a lot of play, so it's not too soft. So you can get kind of precision placement of your concealer with it because they don't flop around all over the place. But another one that I love, actually a little bit more, is the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush that I just purchased a few months ago. And this is a nice dome-shaped brush. There's a little bit more play in the bristles than there is for this one. Just just slightly more, so you get a little bit of a softer application than you do with this one. I love this one for under eyes, and I prefer this one for, you know, doing work around my nose or whatnot. I just find this one's a little bit fluffier, gives a little bit softer application. And I really love the e.l.f. Studio brushes. I think they've done an amazing job on these brushes. For the price point, they're fantastic. The only thing you might have to put up with is the ferrule separating, but you know, somebody suggested putting a little bit of super glue on there to keep them in place. And for $3, they're just amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, then moving on to the next compartment, which has like my powder brushes. This is the e.l.f. blush brush. What I like about this is, at first I didn't really like this brush because to me, blush brushes and powder brushes should be round. So I was like, it's really quite flat, and it's got this kind of chiseled shape to it. And I don't know, I want something fluffy that you can, you know, go like this with. But what I love about the shape of this one is it's actually really good for applying like your contour and applying your blush and your highlighter in, you know, specific areas, and it gives more of a precise application, and it acts like an angled brush without being an angled brush, because I find angled brushes are fairly limited because you're only ever going to get that shape, whereas this one I can use the tip to put a fine point of color. I can use it as an angle, or I can turn it on its side and just, you know, use it as a blending brush. So it's actually an excellent blush brush and works better than little round fluffy ones that I have. Next up is the Real Techniques. Is this the multi-task? This is the blush brush. This is a huge brush, and this is one of the brushes when I first got them that I thought, like, that's ridiculous. It's such a stupid size, and I'm never going to use it. Well, I use it all the time because it gives a nice wash of color. So as long as you don't need a precision application, it just gives a really nice soft application. It's really great for, you know, blending up into the hairline and on the temples and applying your concealer or your bronzer, sorry, and it's really good at blending everything together, and it just feels really nice and soft. Slightly smaller than that is the Multitasker, and this is what makes this different is it's a little bit smaller and the bristles are a little bit denser in there, so there's a little bit less play. So this is good for doing blush, bronzer, same thing. This one just gives you a little bit of a softer kind of diffused look to the color that you're applying, and also works really well as a powder brush. They do have a specific powder brush, but it's even bigger, and it was just crazy. So I'm happy with that one because, like, my head's not this big, so, you know, I might have a big body, but I got a little head, so I don't really like huge brushes where it's like just I need to stick to the contours of my face. So I really like the Multitask brush as well. And this one came in the Travel Essentials kit, if memory serves. Next up is the setting brush. So this is a little standalone brush, and what I use this for is applying powder to the areas like underneath my eyes, and I put a concealer here, so I like to powder there, and just, you know, where I feel like I need a little bit of powder without having to powder my whole face. I really like that, and in a pinch it works as a blending brush as well. Okay, then we move on to my eye brushes, and I have two compartments for eye brushes. So these brushes are like the brushes that I use the most for applying color. This is the Real Techniques shading brush, and you can see that's really, really tiny compared to my next favorite shading brush, which is quite a bit bigger. But what this is excellent for is just, I like to put color right on the outer corner and then blend it out. So this just gives me nice, precise application. The bristles are fairly stiff in there, so you can use it, you know, to blend underneath the eye or to blend along the lash line and to place color in the crease. But for me, it works best if I'm doing, you know, a swatch of color along the outer edge there. It's excellent for that. And my foot is falling asleep. Next up is my Sigma Eye Shading E55 brush. I use this brush all the time. It is a really great brush, and unlike my other Sigma eye brush, which is the E25. This one has kept its shape. The E25 has just totally fluffed out, and I never use it anymore because it doesn't do what I want it to do. This one is amazing. Like I said, hasn't lost any bristles, has kept its shape. It's a nice thickness, like it's not too flat, so it's great for packing on color, and then I also use it to blend color out, and you can use it to blend color into your crease. You can use it everywhere, and it's just nice and soft and is excellent. I really like this brush. Just to compare it, this is the e.l.f. eyeshadow C brush from their studio line. You can get these are the ones that they sell at Target individually, or you can get them on the website like the rest of the brushes. But the Sigma one is a little bit narrower. The Sigma one's a little bit more narrow through here, but it's a little bit taller. So it's a little bit fluffier. It's a little bit, you know, there's a little bit more play. So it's a little bit, I don't know. I just feel like it packs on color better than the e.l.f. one. It picks up more product. It deposits more product. I have to work more with this one. So I prefer the eye shade, the E55 from Sigma, but as a brush on its own, this e.l.f. eyeshadow C brush is excellent because it does all the things that this does. It's nice and soft. It's, you know, packs on color, blends color. It's really, really nice. And you can get it at Target, and you can get it here. Sometimes they sell these at Dollarama here in Canada, which is awesome. I've also seen them sold at Winners, or you can get the set online. Then I have, this is the domed shadow brush from Real Techniques. And what I use this brush for is if I just want to do a nice soft wash of color, and it's also a nice kind of blending brush. I don't use it for applying shadow, but I use it for blending, and I love it. Then if I want to do lining around my eyes or run a powder over top of a liner, I use this little guy, and this is the accent brush, and he's just a teeny tiny little brush. Really nice for doing that, and I like these kinds of brushes better than angled brushes for applying eyeliner. That's just my personal preference. And then last up, we've got this little pile of goodies. So these are the brushes that I use, you know, for blending and specific tasks. I have totally been in love with this Essence of Beauty crease brush, and then this is the, oh, there's two crease brushes. So there's like, this comes in a set. You get these at Walgreens. Here in Canada, Pharma Plus, Rexall, or London Drugs, they have a little set of brushes, and I think they're called Blue. Anyway, they're in-store brand, and they're almost identical to these. I just preferred the Essence ones. So I just took my glasses off so I could show you what they do. So they're just like, they're variations of themselves. So the crease brush, like, let's go with this normal one. This is good for applying color in the outer V and for putting your color in the crease and then blending out with a bigger brush. This gives, again, more precise application of color, so it doesn't give, it gives more of a, like, of a sharper line. So if you're looking to get a really defined shape, this is excellent for that. And it's also good for, you know, doing slight work in the outer corner. I swirl it around like this if I want to build up color right there. But then this smaller one is excellent for, again, I've been using it non-stop lately for running shadow underneath the lower lash line. It's good for placing shadow if you want to use shadow as a liner along the upper lash line. And this will give you a really fine, like if you want to put a really defined, sharp V here, that'll do it for you. So these two little brushes are excellent. They're almost like, you know, they've got little points on them, but they're soft like pencil brushes. So I've got my two MAC 217s. This is the MAC 217, and then this is the C433 Pro Blending Fluff from Coastal Scents. To me, these are interchangeable. I can reach for either one of them, and they both work exactly the same way, except that this is like a third of the price. If I'm just using like one color over my lid, I will use these brushes to apply the color everywhere that I need. And then if I'm doing like multicolors as I am today, I'll just use this as my blending brush. Then we have my two crease brushes from Sonia Kashuk. These are really nice. I like to use these for applying color into the crease. I find they're a little stiff and a little scratchy, but they're, you know, they're quite nice for applying the color where you need them to go. They're not very good for blending. They're good for application of color, and I use them quite a bit. And then the last kind of, you know, crease brush, this is from e.l.f. It's the e.l.f. contour brush. And I love this one. This is like a big pencil brush. It looks like an eraser head on a pencil, and it kind of works that way. I use this a lot for if I want to do a really easy smudgy eye. I'll apply like a cream, like a liner or some sort of cream shadow, and then I use this to blend it out, like to smoke it out until it's just nice and hazy around the eyes. It's excellent for that because it's got just the right amount of stiffness and softness and roundness, because some of my other kind of crease brushes are pointy, whereas this one's round. So it's really nice for blending out, you know, like a liner or whatever. Sorry, I keep losing my voice there. But it's also good, like the Sonia Kashuk brushes, for applying color in here. And we've got this little guy from Real Techniques. This is the base shadow brush. And at first I didn't really know what to do with this brush, because it's kind of got like, it's not really like a shader brush, like to pack on color. It's kind of got like this chiseled shape to it. But this is actually an excellent kind of dupe for the MAC 217. It works in a very, you can see it's almost similar in shape. It's got like the same kind of basic shape to it, but it's a little bit more chiseled than this one is. But I use it in that way. Like I'll use it to kind of run color all over the lid. I'll turn it on its side to apply color into the crease, blend it out. So it's soft enough to work as a blender, but it also works to apply color. So this actually, at first I didn't use it because I didn't really know what to do with it, but the minute I started treating it like a 217, it really came along, and I use it all the time now. Then we've got my two angled liner brushes. This is the e.l.f. small angled brush, and this is the K19 Sable Angle Liner from Coastal Scents. So I use this one to apply my eyebrow product shadow through my eyebrows. I think it works really well because it's a little bit shorter. And then I use this longer one, he's a little bit smaller. I use him to apply eyeliner. Very nice. Can't really say anything negative about them at all. Then I've got my, this is a combo brush and comb. This is the, what's this one? The Lash Brow Groomer from Real Techniques by Samantha Chapman. I don't actually use this one as much as I thought I was going to be using it, because now the eyebrow pencils that I use actually come with little brushes on the liner, like on the lid. They've got little brushes attached, so I just put the lid on and then brush through. But this is a really nice eyebrow groomer. But what makes this one great is it's got this little comb on the side, so it's fantastic for combing through your lashes after you've applied mascara to kind of separate them. So I do recommend getting this. I just don't use the brush as much as I thought, but it's a nice soft big brush. It's really nice. And then lastly, I've got my two blending brushes. So this is the one that I had for the longest time. It's the MAC 224. And this is just perfect for, you know, you use it to blend out that harsh line. I put like my eyebrow color on it, not the, like my brow highlight color on it, and use that to kind of blend out my crease line. And it's just a really great all over blending brush. I use it to blend, you know, I blend shadow away and you just clean up with it. It's an excellent, excellent, excellent brush. But it's a little big for my eyelids. So when I was in the States, I picked up this little guy from, I think I got this one from Target. So I think it's part of their Up and Up line. And it's a crease brush, but it's a little bit too big in my opinion, like a little too floppy for doing any kind of crease work. I guess it would work as a blender, but it does work really nice, again, just like the 224, to blend out and to apply color underneath your brow. So it's an excellent brush, and it was only, I said excellent a whole bunch of times there. This is a really good brush. I like it for the price, and I'm actually going to get another one the next time I'm in the States because it's just nice and soft, and it does the same job as the 224, but much cheaper and a little bit smaller. So, you know, if you're kind of like feeling like this is a little big, try something like that. And there you have it. Those are all my favorite brushes that I really do use every day. And I just love them. So there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye.